mankind. Not in a net positive way, in a most negative way. It is, the reason I wrote this is because people like you I hear every day, are on the television. We must restore the Constitution. We must have a new constitutional convention.
But if we had a new constitutional convention, we, the people, could redesign the new government articles to represent all of us and not just that small founding group, couldn't we?
No, you will never have a word to say about it. Just as we, the people, you and me, never had a word to say about it then.
Unless your name was Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson.
Well, Benjamin Franklin, you know, wrote about how, and this is in the National Archives, said that no Jew should ever be allowed into this country. Any man who would say that certainly can't be considered an American, and is not certainly a man that you could trust, has any respect for human rights, okay? Any respect for human rights or justice. So I wouldn't trust.
Are you saying, Jack, that our history books that have been approved by thousands of school districts across America have conned us? Have we been conned as a people?
For 220 years.
So we have been conned.
Absolutely. That's why this is called the U.S. Con.
And it's available for how much?
$10.
At what website?
JackALPAN.com.
Food for thought.
Well, that's why I wrote it, because, Bill, I hate to see people like you who really care. You know, the reason that we connected is because we saw a mutual likeness of thought. We shared some thoughts together that were in the same direction. But I wrote this for you and people like you who love America, who are upset with the way the trends are going, all the things that have been happening in the last 10 years since I wrote this book have made America a less safe place than it was in 1997 when I wrote it. And that's why I decided to put it on a DVD, because initially the book went by the pound, you know, and this way I can sell it for $10 and more people can read it. That's my goal, is to educate the American people to realize that we have been conned for 220 years. And there is, you see, the other reason I wrote it is because most Americans say this: well, what can I, one person, do about what the government is doing? I can't change it. So a lot of people get upset about what's going on, and they resist and they fight the system. This guy Brown that you talked about that refused to pay his income taxes.
After they did the Constitution?
No, sir. No, sir. Any more than the common law is moot, it's not moot at all, sir. Any more than the 10 Commandments are moot, sir. You do not supersede. What comes first is the authority. And the first authority in this land are the 10 Commandments. Common law and Articles of Confederation are absolutely first law in this land. And we're preparing right now to go back to and create a third Continental Congress. We're working on it right now, nationwide. It's the only thing that's going to work, sir.
I'm forced to agree with you based on the corruption I've uncovered.
It's beyond
sea to shining sea.
Absolutely out of control at every level. I have the local police officers here working in the city on film, the town of Plainfield on film, on videotape, evidence, hard evidence in hand, saying that they would not help the Browns or protect the Browns in any way, and they would not return the money for the contract that the Browns paid for that protection.
After they did the Constitution?
No, sir. No, sir. Any more than the common law is moot, it's not moot at all, sir. Any more than the 10 Commandments are moot, sir. You do not supersede. What comes first is the authority. And the first authority in this land are the 10 Commandments. Common law and Articles of Confederation are absolutely first law in this land. And we're preparing right now to go back to and create a third Continental Congress. We're working on it right now, nationwide.
Well, I think that would be a good thing.
It's the only thing that's going to work, sir.
I'm forced to agree with you based on the corruption I've uncovered.
It's beyond
sea to shining sea.
absolutely out of control at every level. I have the local police officers here working with in the city on film, the town of Plainfield on film, on videotape, evidence, hard evidence in hand, saying that they would not help the Browns or protect the Browns in any way, and they would not return the money for the contract that the Browns paid for that protection.
Irwin Schiff, who has been in jail so many times for not paying his income taxes.
Hello there.
Hello. Hey.
What do you have there?
These are the boxes of top secret documents.
This counselor, he said no questions.
No questions.
No questions.
So that stands in.
I would say it does.
Was there anything we left out, Robert, we should have mentioned?
No, it's pretty much clear cut. It's a voluntary income tax.
Of course, that got censored, right?
Yeah.
So we don't get to have people at the seminar. I don't know how many people didn't get the message. Now, this appears to be the books we can sell.
Ever famous great income tax hoax.
Okay.
The biggest con.
Okay.
My favorite, how anyone can stop paying the income tax.
Is that your favorite, Glenn?
That's my favorite, prior to the mafia. How an economy grows, why it doesn't. Kingdom of Malls.
Yeah.
The comic book. And of course the great Social Security swindle.
Oh, that's the favorite.
Fundamentals of litigation.
Okay. So
Yeah,
the
of course.
Internal Revenue Code.
Not yet. Not yet is this censored. Not yet the power to destroy by Senator William Roth. That's probably next on their list up here. This is what it's all about.
That book gave you nightmares, didn't it, Glenn?
I threw it against the wall and I got to page 105, I think it was. I slammed it shut and threw it up against my bedroom wall.
Oh.
Can't buy the Mafia, #1 on the list.
Okay, let me zoom in on the mafia.
Right here.
Yeah.
How about that?
Okay.
On down.
All
This
right.
two-part video series.
This on how to battle the IRS.
Exactly.
And then we have Irwin's seminar. We can't look at that.
Yeah.
They just $2 billion in farm subsidies. Why should he pay tax? And then they take the money and they give it to a farmer, not to a corporate farmer in many cases. Some of these corporate farmers get up to $500,000. The whole thing is crazy.
In your experience, I mean, is the IRS calling you daily, or are they standing outside your doorstep? Are they harassing you on a daily basis?
I've never had an agent come to my front door. I came across Irwin Schiff, read his book, and became curious as to the ins and outs of the income tax. Did some research of my own, and I filed 4 returns, 0 as he instructed, going back to 1992. And in the year 1998, I received a refund check for over $41,000 for those 4 years, 1992, 93, 94, and 95. And that was a result of filing Irwin's material. The 0 income return did in fact result in this check. He delivered to me in 1998. And it was a result of the education that I got from Irwin and research that I checked further by my own interest in that subject. So his material does work.
Why do you think they banned Irwin Schiff's book, The Federal Mafia?
Well, it's pretty obvious to me that they didn't want the public to find out, get educated to the fact that there really is no mandatory income tax. It is voluntary, as it says in both the statements from the commissioners of the IRS and the federal government's own Supreme Court.
This is a negative, wrong action. It is fighting against something that you eventually become. When you fight against anything, then you become what you fight against.
You think that's why Jesus said, resist not evil?
Yes. Yeah, because evil destroys itself anyhow. If you look throughout the history of mankind, what has happened? In every age, there is a rise and then there's a fall. Why? Because political governments are founded on fraud and force. And that is a violation of the laws of nature. It doesn't work. You cannot fool all the people all the time.